Mentally feel like Kobe, I'm like Jokic with the rock. You physically couldn't hold me, I don't care if you pushing 40. You can never little bro me. Euro step like Ginobili, from young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats, circle stronger than Cuban links. My gold dance, your gold plated. You verse me, now that's a reach. We ready? Who ready? We ready? Who ready? Who? We ready? Who? Who ready? Who? We ready?
Good evening, everybody. Hey, Dominic, how you doing?
Yeah, am I right? Yourself?
Yeah, we got a good night tonight. We're going to be talking about the South Florida drone meet. Sorry, Dominic's got a little bit of feedback from his mic tonight. There we go. That's better. And we're roasting Australia tonight. I mentioned it last week. Dominic thought that he was going to get away with that roast on America last week, and he is not getting away with it. I went at him pretty good tonight, so we're going to watch that a little bit later on. So, Dominic, how's the weather over there? You been flying at all?
No, it's been wet and windy, and it's yeah. I went to the an air show the other day, and I couldn't keep the camera straight, so I haven't got much to show for it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Kept
we
blowing
had,
off and blowing around.
not too long ago, we had some nasty wind, and I know I messaged Todd Skirving earlier today, and they're getting some nasty storms out there and tornadoes, so I hope everybody out there is safe. I didn't realize there was a storm system moving through there. We were just talking about an hour before the show, so hope everybody's out there safe and, taking cover if you need to. I think I'm going to go ahead and say hi to everybody in the chat. Warren was first. How you doing, Warren? Glad to have you here tonight. My wife, my number one supporter. Always appreciate her. She got her hair cut for the South Florida drone meet. You want to come over? You can show everybody your haircut while we say hi to everybody. We got Dawn. Dawn's in the house. How you doing, Dawn? Yeah. Look at that hair. Great. I could just shave mine off in the shower. I got one of those, clippers you can just run through. Yeah, simple as that for me. Hey, Wedge and Big's in the chat. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Glad to have you here. And Bill Walton, he's actually joining us for the open chat tonight. Glad to have you here, Bill. And Steve's in the house. How you doing, Steve? Glad to have you here. By the way, show of hands in the chat. Who's going to South Florida drone meet? We're going to be discussing that quite a bit tonight. I'm excited. Jeff's joined us tonight. How you doing, Jeff? And Jody's in the house. How you doing, Jody? Glad to have you here. And Dusty's in the house. Ooh, that'd be nice to see Warren there. I don't believe he's going, though. Hey, Josh, how you doing? Glad to have you here. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope the wife and the dog are doing well. Man, I wish you could come with us to Florida. That'd be great. And Ken's in the house. How you doing, Ken? He'll be joining us for open chat. And Flying High in Florida. How you doing? Glad to have you here. Wow, a lot of a Nightbot. I have not adjusted Nightbot in months. Jim's in the house. He'll be joining us for open chat also. How you doing, Jim? And Captain Ray Kelly. I've asked him to join us tonight so we can talk about the South Florida drone meet. He's with us. Glad to have him here as always. Hey, Gary. How you doing? I'm bringing the mug with me that you donated. I'm actually bringing 8 mugs to the South Florida drone meet, so we'll have those there. And Bud Bieber's in the house. He'll be joining us for the chat as always. Wow, that's a lot of chat. Holy cow. Paul Jr.'s in the house. He's actually right over here. He'll be joining us tonight. All right, looks like we got everywhere. We're down to the bottom there. All right, so I wanted to say we're looking forward to the South Florida drone meet, and I have the 2 DJI mics and the action camera. The wife's got mics now, so all 4 of us are going to be able to mic up. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it. So let's bring everybody in here. We had a bunch of people join us. How's everybody doing tonight? And I'm making sure I'm not missing anybody. Everybody's here, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Jeff's not here. I thought I saw him. He must have disconnected.
He popped in for a second, yeah.
Yeah. So how's everybody? Show of hands. Who's going South Florida?
I'll be here.
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
Thanks, Ray.
Well, then, Captain Ray, because we're going, there we go. I guess it's the row on top here that's going to South Florida drone meet.
Yeah.
I am taking donations though, so
Yeah, I'm happy to take donations as well.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you one thing. I am so looking forward to meeting Benjamin. And you too, Paul.
Yeah.
As well as Ashley and Paul Jr., really. And everybody else, really. And we got quite a crowd coming. 153 names on the list.
Yeah, the last 2 years I wanted to go, wasn't able to make it, so this solidified now. There we go. Jeff's back. He's joining us.
I'm on the road, as you can see. I'm on my way to find Ray Kelly.
Oh, he's looking for
Hey,
you.
Jeff. Go look for a secret spot, Jeff.
Secret, that's right. The secret spots that never get seen when you put them on the air.
Watch out for straight. Oh, now we lost him.
nope.
Yeah, he's gonna cut in and out because he's out on the highway. There we go.
Nope,
Yep.
he's off.
Hi, Jeff. Bye, Jeff. So, Benjamin,
Yeah,
what are you looking forward to at the South Florida drone meet?
flying drones.
What about meeting all the
Drones, of
people?
course.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got some ratchet straps. I bought a cart to put my drone cases on so I can lug them around. And I bought small, like thin ratchet straps so that way hold on it. How you doing, Michael? Glad to have you here. Yep. I have, by the way, right here, these are coming down with me. The first 100 people going to get themselves a nice United States Drone Society pen and a coffin style box.
Very nice. Very nice, Paul. Really.
I have one.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Nice.
Figured I'd show that.
I still have mine from last year.
Oh yeah, there we go. So I definitely want to get into the Sunday roast fairly early tonight, but I have to ask. We're going to show a video by Captain Ray tonight, and this was a video that he had released. Was it today or yesterday?
Yesterday. Yep.
Yesterday. Well, I'll let the video speak for itself. Let me pull it up here. Here I am trying to talk about it. I haven't even shown the video yet. I'm a rookie. There we go.
I like giving acknowledgement to the sponsors. Hi, welcome to Adventures with Captain Ray Kelly. And the South Florida drone meetup is almost here. I can't believe it. But it seems like every day I receive another box or two at our door. And today I received 2 of them. And these are from Alexis. And let's open the box. Boxes, I should say. So anyway.
Shout out to Alexis. Thank you, Alexis.
These are spinners. Thank you, Alexis. Anybody who don't know what a spinner is, it's a little gadget. You put it in your fingers and you spin it. But these are so cool. They really are. And I'll give you a look at the logo. They even got our logo on it.
Wow.
Don't put any air hose on it
Really,
and get
that
it
came
up
out
to
great.
20,000 RPM. You'll regret it.
But there's 100 of
Trust
them
me.
in here.
Why you
Yeah,
take
I'm
off?
hearing all
Give them to
kinds
the
of
first 100 people.
If I
sign
wasn't
in.
wearing
And,
safety glasses, I'd be blind with a fidget spinner at about 20 to 30,000 RPM
There's
on
another
a
box here from
PSI
Alexis.
airline.
It's open. And this one has strobe
Where's this
lights for
coming
your
from?
drone. Solo good, strobe lights. And if you're flying at night, you need lights. So 2 lucky raffle prize winners are gonna go home with strobe lights, thanks to Alexis.
Nice.
Those are
I
big.
gotta say,
Yeah.
from me and the rest of the South Florida Drone Meetup Committee, thank you, Alexis. We appreciate your support.
Very nice.
Yep.
Thanks
Thank
for allowing
you
me
so
to
much, Alexis. Really, we appreciate it. And she also
Nice.
she surprised me today with a text, and she's also donating 2 TVs to the meetup. Yep, and they're not
Wow.
supposed to arrive until Wednesday. So
Yeah, nice. Now I have a bone to pick with somebody right now. So let me see here.
Wait.
Mr. Dominic. Last week you thought that you were going to roast America and that was going to be the end of it. Not here, not now, not ever. It's time to roast Australia.
All right, folks. Tonight we're tackling the monumental task of roasting Australia, the only country that's both a continent and a giant evolutionary mistake. First off, Australia's wildlife clearly comes with an instruction manual written by Stephen King. Everything wants you dead. You know your animals are messed up when even the ducks are venomous. I mean, ducks, Australia. How bad is your neighborhood if even your waterfowl are packing poison? Kangaroos, your national symbol, is essentially a buff rabbit on steroids with a short temper. Only in Australia can a cuddly marsupial decide to square up and throw hands. Seriously, who thought putting a Jim Bros personality into a hopping deer was a good idea? And speaking of marsupials, koalas are the stoners of the animal world. The furry freeloaders sleep 22 hours a day, wake up just long enough to get high on eucalyptus leaves, contract chlamydia, and go back to sleep. If that's not the definition of no ambition, I don't know what is. Even pandas look productive by comparison. Now, let's talk about Vegemite, your national spread. Vegemite tastes like someone decided to scrape leftover asphalt off the highway, mix it with sadness, and slap it on toast. Australians defend Vegemite with pride too, but let's be honest, it's like Stockholm Syndrome in culinary form. You don't actually like it, you've just grown accustomed to the misery. Your slang, it's like Australia looked at the English language and said, nah, mate, too many syllables. Breakfast becomes brekkie, afternoon is arvo, McDonald's is Macca's, and even Christmas becomes Chrissy. Yet, you casually drop fair dinkum into a conversation like you have time to waste. Make up your mind, Aussies, are you busy or not? And what's going on with your accents? It's as if the British dropped you off centuries ago and your language just started melting in the heat. No wonder tourists spend half their vacations nodding politely, pretending they understand your directions, when secretly praying that Google Maps will save them from getting lost in your endless outback. And speaking of the outback, Australia, you have a whole region that looks exactly like Mars. Dry, barren, uninhabitable. People live around the coastline because even Australians know there's nothing in the middle but regret, dehydration, and tumbleweeds that probably have evolved venom by now. Your capital city is so bland and forgettable that even Australians don't remember it. Tourists fly halfway across the world to see Sydney's Opera House or Melbourne's cafes, while Canberra sits in the corner like the kid no one picked in dodgeball. If your capital city could talk, it would probably apologize for existing. And can we discuss cricket for a second? I know, hold up. Australians willingly spend 5 days playing a sport only to have it end in a tie. A tie! You've wasted an entire work week chasing a ball, dressed in white pajamas, only to shake hands and say, well played, maybe next time? Australians, there's a word for that. It's called insanity. And let's not forget your weather, which operates exclusively on extremes. It's either hot enough to melt pavement or it's raining spiders. Literally raining Spiders. How do Australians casually brush this off like it's normal? Any country that requires regular spider showers is clearly nature's way of saying, move out, you don't belong here. Yet, despite all this madness, the murderous animals, questionable food choices, linguistic laziness, forgettable capital, and climate that feels personally offended by your existence, we still love you, Australia. Maybe it's because you're safely isolated on the far side of the world where your deadly creatures and Vegemite sandwiches can't harm the rest of us. Cheers, Australia, you beautifully ridiculous island of chaos. Keep it wild, mates. Got you back.
Very good, Paul. Very good. That was great.
Try me again, Dominic. Try me again.
I'm gonna
Don't do
have
it.
just a slight right of reply here. I totally agree with you about Canberra. It is exactly how you described it.
So
It is
eloquently.
yeah, and it was created because the two major capital cities at the time of Federation in 1901 were Melbourne and Sydney, and neither of them could actually agree on who was going to become the capital. So the only way to fix this problem was to build a random place called the Australian Capital Territory halfway between both of them to keep both happy. And it's still, to this day, over 100 years later, both cities of Melbourne and Sydney are still bickering over it.
What's going on, guys?
Crazy.
Yeah,
think
I
Paul
could not
nailed it.
let him come on to my show and roast Americans the way he did last week and get away
Nah,
with it.
not
We're
without
not going to let that
ramifications.
fly.
Right?
Yeah. That was a good
It's okay,
payback,
Dominic. We
Paul.
love you. What was that, Captain Ray?
Good payback. That was good.
Yeah.
Very.
Yep, yeah. Good.
The
You
video
had the
kept
right of
freezing
reply, and
for
I
me.
really liked it.
I'm sorry. I'm getting some feedback again here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Someone's
What
got
did you
some
say?
echo.
I said the video kept freezing for me.
Oh, weird. Probably because you're connected to the Wi-Fi and yeah, we're glitching you out. Yeah, the whole cricket thing drives me crazy. I don't get it.
Always ends in a tie, huh?
Yeah, I
We
I had to
actually
approach
have.
that segment there with caution because I know I'm talking to Australia and I'm going to roast their sports. I had to be real careful with what I said,
Well,
but
I'm going to throw a few more things in there. We have three types of cricket:
Going in here.
5 day, 1 day, and what's called a T20, 2020, which is over about a 3 hour period. And
Something's not
Australia's not the only one that plays cricket. We have our English people, as in Michael in the chat and Mark Light, and that's the we play. Australia plays England. Australia plays cricket with
Going through this.
India,
Where
Sri
is that?
Lanka. Trying to think of who else. Zimbabwe, Pakistan. Trying to think of the other, but yeah, they're the main ones. So, as I see it, thank you.
oh, did you say Robin's in the chat, by the way? Hi, Robin. How you doing?
She's probably sitting right next to Jeff.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Hold on.
Ray.
Go ahead. Bud's got a question.
Oh, go ahead, bud.
No, it's not a question. We're getting a cricket statement here in Oswego, and we're going to kick your ass.
Oh, is that challenge?
That's Benjamin dancing in the intro, by the way.
Yeah, change my picture in the intro, would you?
But it takes away from the essence of who you are. I feel like I'd be lying to the public if I changed that, bud.
Gotta agree with that.
Well, no, you should get me falling out of the chair after a few too many cocktails.
Yeah, that's all. That's the only video you need.
I do
The
like
only
that.
visual.
You know what? Next time I edit the intro, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make you fall over.
Put him sideways.
Yeah. So I also, Captain Ray, I wanted to ask, you said that the meet and greet is on the 4th?
Yes, fourth
And
Friday night, 5 p.m. starts, runs until about 8. And Bill Ronayne, he does a great job with that. And we get use of 4 billiard tables. It's a billiard club, but it's a fancy billiard club, and it's fun. Everybody starts playing pool, and you get to see everybody as they roll in and meet them. And then he ends up raffling off two $50 gift cards that you could use right at Sticks for food or
When did you
drink or
cut out of
whatever.
here?
And it's really a great night. It is. So I got
yeah,
to say thank you so much to Bill. He uh, he really puts his heart and soul in that, and he got that sponsorship for us. So thank you,
yeah, it's
Bill.
great. Yeah, I know. I think Greg from the Pilot Institute. They're going to be at what is it, Sun and Fun or whatever it is? What do they call it?
Yeah, Sun and Fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
over in Lakeland, Florida.
yeah. I was kind of hoping that they were going to be at South Florida Drone Meet this year, but
Well, they sent their lanyards. We got the lanyards. So the first 150 people that come, they're going to get a lanyard, and
nice.
along with their new badge for this year. Brad made them up,
That's awesome.
and I think he's got one for you, Benjamin. I think your name is on one of them.
Did you
Cool.
hear that, Ben?
Hmm.
You excited? Yeah, I know he is.
So, Captain Ray, how many people help you put this together?
Well, we got a meetup committee, drone meetup committee, and there's 6 other people on it. You got
Okay.
Johnny Drone Flyer, and you got Bill Ronayne, and you got Al Cercione, and
Okay.
Ken Huffbauer. Actually, um, Ken Huffbauer and myself and Maddie were the ones that came up with the idea, 5 years ago now. And we had
Okay.
a little meetup, and another guy, Mitch, but he's no longer with the group. Um, and we figured we'd have another one. And, we figured if we were lucky, 10 people would come. And, it just has grown every year since that first year. And I can't say enough thanks for the people who do come and attend the South Florida Drone Meetup. And I hope you make it one year, Bud. I really do.
I'm gonna look into it.
I'm gonna save up for next year. I will.
I got duplicates.
I'll be there
Something's
next
going
year.
wrong.
Yeah, he just needs to trip and fall down I-95.
Next year it's being pushed back one week because Easter is this same weekend, the first
Right.
weekend in April. So we're pushing it back one week. It'll be the 10th to the 12th in 2026.
Yeah. What other events are going on the 4th, 5th, and 6th? By the way, you have the meet and greet.
That's the meet and greet, and then the next day, Saturday, that's the main event. And basically everybody sort of gets there between. Well, some people get there for sunrise. They want to get sunrise flights in. I start setting up at 6 a.m., but it officially starts at 7 a.m. and people come down to fly the sunrise. And past 4 years, we've had beautiful sunrises down there. That's for sure. And then
Yeah.
um, we got entertainment that's gonna uh, start at 11 a.m. We got Dennis Lovelady, the singing droner. He's going to perform for us, and he has made a custom song, I've been told. So it's going to be interesting listening to him. And then we also have another entertainment lined up um, by Tony Szerski. He's a musician down here. He supplies our mic setup and speaker setup, and he made arrangements for a gentleman, Delta Dave, to perform for us along with his wife Cindy. So they're going to be singing for us during our lunch hour.
And then the next.
And Pilot
Yeah,
Institute,
same here.
they sponsored lunch, and we're going to go get pizza for lunch. And we also have a gentleman called Nick Vita. His name is Nick Vita, and he goes by the YouTube channel Fly Days. He makes waterproof drones, FPV type drones, and he makes them so you can put them in the water, and you don't have to worry about it. And he takes off right from the water. You're going to give us a demonstration
Wow.
of his waterproof drones and his flying, and it's incredible. It really is.
Yep, and arrange for a group of dancing lobsters.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Yeah.
but um, then after that, we're gonna try to break our most drones flying in the air at the same time event.
Record.
And last year we had 28 up flying together with no casualties, and this year we're hoping to break that record. And I'm sure we will. I really feel we're going to break it.
I feel like
And
that trend will continue until there's a casualty.
right,
Yeah.
right. But Mark Fisher's coming, so if there's a casualty, he'll just jump in the
Oh,
water and
hey
go
now.
retrieve the drone. But
Speaking of
anyway,
Mark Fisher, Alex Escardo released a video. He
Uh-oh.
shared it on the South Florida Drome. I thought it was pretty good. Was showing his trip in 2003, and
yeah,
it's funny how he did the whole because Mark Fisher did the video of him hitchhiking or walking.
hitchhiking.
Yeah, yeah.
I know he's a character. That Mark Fisher, he's a character. But the other night he was on my live stream, and for those people that didn't watch it, he ended up surprising us with a donation of an Avata drone. So he's
Wow.
bringing a Avata 2 drone, and he's giving it as a giveaway prize. So we got to say thank you to Mark Fisher for that.
Cool.
Yeah,
Really.
and even more incredible thing was what happened. What we were hearing about on your show was it Rob Kamada had someone contact him. He lost the drone.
Yes.
It had been gone for 9 months. It was a Mavic 3 Pro, right?
Mavic 3 Cine,
Mavic.
but
Ooh.
He had a Mavic
yep.
3 City go down. He couldn't find it. 9 months later, someone called him back, contacted him, and said, "Hey, I have your drone." 9 months.
How did he find him?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great story.
Was it a file on the card
No,
that had his?
what Rob does is he puts stickers on his batteries in his battery compartment of the drone, and finally somebody took the battery out and
And
looked
they
at
found it.
the battery, and they found his information, Aviano Aerial Photography, and tracked him down. So he got it back, and that was good. And it still flies. He texted me today, and it flies, but he is going to have to send it to DJI for repair.
Wow.
Okay, so Michael says this: the design of a brushless motor lends itself very nicely to being waterproofed, since the bell and the stator only exchange eddy currents. So waterproofing the board, wires, etc. Okay, what's he talking about here? I'll go with that. Ken, you build right? So you know what he's talking
Eddie?
about here?
Nah.
Sort of. Well, I mean, brushless motors are just magnets.
Yeah. Eddy currents are magnetic fields induced through current. So when you put current into material, it produces a eddy current.
Okay.
Another similar thing to eddy currents is what you see in rivers. When there's like a offshoot of the river, the water will kind of turn into a circle and start to make a spiral. That's an eddy current. It's kind of the same philosophy, so to speak, but an eddy current is an electrical anomaly in the magnetic field of electricity running through material.
All right,
Sorry.
Jim, why are you here and not like in some office somewhere?
Because
Playing
I
with
did that
wires.
shit in my past, and engineers wouldn't agree that I knew what the fuck I was talking about until I talked to the vice presidents and engineers of these companies, and they verified everything, and then engineering finally changed their specs to agree with what I said after they kicked me out and they left. But that's a long story for another day.
But
But that's
it's
eddy
also
currents.
the conformal coating that also can coat the rest of the electronics, so that doesn't get wet either.
That's what it's all about, is a conformal coating. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Never mind eddy currents. That's got nothing to do with making it waterproof.
But you know how we met Nick, just to give a little background. Nick Vita ended up showing up to our South Florida Drone meetup at the very end. We had just ended our meetup that 1 year, 3 years ago. And, I welcomed him, and unfortunately I said, it's all over. You missed it. But anyway, he flew his FPV, and I watched him fly a little bit, and we all left. Everybody, as soon as the raffle is over, they leave. and everybody left. But Nick Vita found somebody's Mavic 3 Pro that was left on a picnic table.
Oh my God.
And he
Forgot.
ended up tracking our group down, and he actually delivered it to the restaurant where we were having dinner that year and returned it to the
Nice.
person. And that's how we got to know Nick Vita. Yeah.
I can understand forgetting your launch pad or forgetting a cable that you forgot on the ground, but forgetting a whole drone? How do you pack
Yeah.
your bag and not realize a big giant 3/4 space is
Yeah,
missing?
yeah, bud. There you go.
Well, I've heard of people leaving landing pegs behind,
Yeah, I've done it.
controllers, you know,
I
and
lost a landing pad and left it behind. I went back
yep.
20
I
minutes
think
later and it
probably
was gone.
everybody has done that.
20 minutes. 20 minutes I went back. It was gone.
Yeah.
With
Right.
Dave Ross.
Valid point, Josh.
Yeah.
Actually, I call them launch pads, not landing pads. But
Yeah. So as far as
Speaking of which, we did get a package from Start RC today, and it had a bunch of landing pads in it.
Wow.
So they're going to be
oh, it's a
given
4-section
away at
foldable.
the South
That's a
Florida
good one.
Drone Meetup also. Thank you to Sky Lee and Start RC.
That's the one I use. Double-sided.
Yeah.
All right.
There's Jeff. There he is.
Hey, Jeff's
Jeff.
mobile.
Noisy Jeff is back.
For a while, I was showing the camera, looking at the road rather than me. Probably much better looking, but tough luck, guys. You got me.
You're gorgeous.
But yeah,
Hey, Jeff and Donna. I mean,
I
Jeff
Robin's here.
Jeff and Robin.
Now, Robin, ask him who's
She's
Donna.
driving. I don't want to distract her.
Who's Donna?
Don't get in
All
trouble.
we need is like
I
South
I
Florida
hope
drone
Jeff
meet up with two people and crutches. Bad enough she's got her own crutch. That's it.
I hope Jeff wins a landing pad because he loves using landing
Oh,
pads.
jeez. I know. I want to win your Mavic 3, your old Mavic 3. Now that you have a Mavic 3 Pro. That's what I hear everyone. Ray's giving away that Mavic 3 that he won a couple of years ago. That's the rumor. You know, just
I'm
saying.
definitely buying a ticket now.
Well, I think everybody knows what the top prize is. Actually,
Your autograph,
the
Ray?
top prize is a DJI Air 3S.
Oh,
And this was donated by Jeremy Alms from Nevada. Jeremy will be at the meetup, but I got to say thank you to Jeff.
that's a hell of a prize.
Yes. thank you,
Jeremy.
Jeff.
Holy crap. No,
By
I
the
want
way,
to know.
that controller right there, I was looking. They're talking about the SDK kit that comes out for the Mini 4 Pro now. With that controller, though, you can't do it. So if you want to, use third-party software with it, you have to use the other controller without the screen on it.
Older controller.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's DJI playing games.
Well, I think it's because it's that they don't want it purpose for maybe other drones because that controller is used for other drones, right? Not just the Mini 4.
Yes, it's
So I think
compatible with others.
Yeah, so I think the SDK kit is a Mini 4 Pro specific thing. I don't know if they maybe that I don't know enough about it to say, but I'm speculating maybe that's why.
Yeah,
SDK stands for Software Development Kit. So it lets you do any kind of custom programming you want, including things that are very precise, and like flying patterns and stuff, and landing patterns. And it's kind of cool.
Like Lychee, people
Yeah,
used Lychee before, same kind of thing. Yeah.
Like Lychee, very much like Lychee's a great example.
But
Lychee's
did
a
you have something you wanted to
prepackaged
say? I thought-
SDK.
No, I use Lychee on my 2 Pro and my Air 2S, and it works wonderful.
It's a prepackaged SDK, basically.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what'll happen because that's something new. I don't pretend to know anything about it, but I understand the capabilities of what you can do with it because you won't be locked into just a function of a DJI software that's on there. You'll be able to use other things. And that will actually, I think that'll make things more creative. It'll open up creative avenues for other people to make things, you know? So,
But doesn't DJI distance themselves if you use a third party SDK software? So if you use that and there's a problem, you
I don't think
might
there
not
is any.
get.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
mean, Lychee is just software by itself, but they use the SDK to interface with
Right.
like DJI Fly or whatever it is, and with the controller, so you can use it.
and I would think that DJI would still maintain their status if you had like a mechanical failure. If something happened that was a result of maybe whatever SDK kit you were using, then maybe probably not. But I think that if it was an issue with some of the hardware that was on the drone, I would assume they would still cover that.
But also, the
Yeah,
SDK
that's what
isn't
I
really
hear.
for us.
Obviously, every situation is different, and they even DJI. A lot of times, it's hard to tell when they'll cover something and when they won't.
Exactly.
But they
That's
pretty much are pretty good, even sometimes with third-party props. And as we all know, from the Avata 2 props have a tendency of destructing at times. So you put on master air screws props is actually better. And I've known people that have had things covered with master air screws props on them. They, if the software lends it that the drone smashes into something, I would think they wouldn't cover that. But other than that, they're going to cover things. They're, like most companies, they're very good most of the time. Once in a while, you
Yeah.
have to scratch your head, but they're very good.
Yeah, they've been good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with DJI except for trying to when sometimes they run into issues shipping things from China to the United States, and I'm not talking about the issues that we're having as of recent. Sometimes the shipping is, I think, well, maybe it's just the area I'm in, but a lot of times when I tried to order things from DJI and get them here, I had issues with shipping. But their customer support is incredible. I've never seen a company like I swear by it. Seeing how they reach out to people on social media. If you are in a group and
Right.
you post an issue to the group, a lot of times if you look in the comments, you'll see someone who actually works for DJI who's in the group, and they'll
Yep.
comment and say, "Send me your case
Very
number
fast.
or your info, and we'll work together." Like, what
Yeah.
Very
company really
fast.
does that?
I was on
That
a
says a
support.
They're
lot.
on it.
I actually had to I had to ship back my I don't even the charging hub, I guess you call it, for the Air 3S. I had to send it back in because it wasn't putting out enough wattage for the batteries and stuff. And I was on chat with DJI, and of course, they asked the simple questions and stuff like that, and had me try some things. But then they said, well, it's up to you. If you think you want to test it out for a bit and send it back, you can. If not, we'll create a case and you can send it in. We'll check it out. If it's bad, we'll replace it. If it's not, then we'll send it back and all that. So I mean, the chat was long, but it was nice. I mean, there was no issues, and it was really the first time I had to interact with their support, and it kind of went well. So
Well, and in the face, to be transparent about a situation I had with them. I don't know what the issue was, but I felt like DJI at one point actually tried to take advantage of a situation. Maybe a little bit of, if I didn't have any oversight over it, it might have slipped by. But when I had my DJI FPV, I actually crashed into the water by Ned's Point Lighthouse. And what had happened is I was flying, the drone was moving fine, I was having a great time, but then all of a sudden the drone started to just kind of go, lower and lower and lower, getting close to the water, and it wasn't responding properly to my inputs on the stick, right? The right stick seemed to work okay, the left stick wasn't working the throttle. And I lost the drone in the water. And then when I contacted DJI, you know how they ask you to you send them the flight log and all that, right? They reviewed the
Right.
flight log,
Right.
and they sent me an email and told me that it was user error. There was no way it was my error. I know that I was flying it. So I went back and I looked at the flight log and I played it. You know how you can well, I don't know if you can anymore, but you can go back and replay the flight, and it shows you all that stuff on the screen in the controller. When I had taken off with the FPV, I had taken off in sports mode, and then while I was in the air, I switched it over to manual. At some point
Okay.
after I switched it over to manual mode, the system registered a stick error. I don't know what the stick error was, but it wasn't until after the drone got switched to manual in the air. And when I brought that to their attention, they turned script and said, okay, we'll cover it. So I don't know if they were being a little shady, but knowing other experiences, I'm going to err on the side that they probably didn't recognize it. But I just don't understand how they didn't see it when they reviewed the flight log.
You know,
Listen, you're lucky. I know when
Right.
people have sent similar things and they say it's loser error instead of user error. So that's in your advantage. They didn't say that to you.
What was that? Oh, he lost connection again.
he said it was
Loser
loser
error.
error. He said it was loser error, not user error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But no,
I
so I don't want to say they were doing anything shady, but it's weird when if I could figure it out like that, watch that. How did they not notice it when they were specifically looking at the flight? How did they not pick up a stick error that's in the log?
So ever since I got my first replacement Avata, I've always had stick calibration errors. Always. And whether or not I take off with it or I do the calibration once or twice in a row, it doesn't make any difference. I'm always getting stick calibration errors and there's never anything fucking wrong. So, it's one of those things. I've got to just accept the fact that it's got a weird quirk that doesn't affect it, but still, at least half the time, I'll do the calibration anyway. And then sometimes when I do the calibration, it still says it's out, and I got to do the calibration again. And it's like, I still trust it, but it always leaves a little bit of doubt in your mind when it gives you those weird errors that you can't figure out.
Yeah. So I believe I'm taking a trip to Miami. I really want to get some flight time. I think Jeff's going with me, right, Jeff?
You going down to the cruise ships?
I want to catch Miami at night. Is what I want to
No,
do.
we lost Jeff again.
All right.
Now,
Go
how far
figure.
are
I
you
finally
from
have a question for him.
Miami?
He takes off.
He'll be back.
Kim Ray, how far are you from Miami then?
Miami's about 2 hours, 15 minutes from the meetup location.
Wow, okay, that's a bit of a drive.
Yeah, I'm about an hour and 15 minute where I live here, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Ron said his Avata 2 does that all the time, Jim.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's weird. His is the 2, mine's the 1, but yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree, Steve. That's why I'm giving them the benefit of a doubt with it.
Thanks, Ron.
Because they usually everything I've seen from them just says good customer service. And that's exactly why they hold the share of the market that they do, because they make a great product and they stand by it.
Well, wait. Hang on.
What's Bud up
Knock
to?
wood. I've never had to call them.
Yep, same here. Knock on wood. Yep.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Oh yeah, I could have done that.
No, not your head.
It's empty.
Hey Jerry, how you doing? So are there
How
any
you doing, Jerry?
Are there any surprise? You don't have to say who they are, but are there any surprise guests showing up that you know about that no one else does? Are there any of them?
No, not surprise guest so much, but
He don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just never know. You never know
Never
who's going to
knows.
show up. So.
Sealed lips, sink no.
But we have a lot of new pilots. I got to say, we got a lot of new pilots coming this year, and I really appreciate that because we like meeting new pilots, getting to know them, and it's going to be nice seeing the old timers too.
Yeah.
But like you, Paul, I'm telling you, Paul, Benjamin, you guys are going to love it, really, and Ashley, and obviously Paul Jr.
This will be the furthest Benjamin's ever been away from home.
That's
Oh,
cool.
really?
That's
Okay.
very cool.
Nice.
Hey,
Enjoy
I got
it,
a
man.
question. I got a question.
Also, I have it. Go ahead, Bud.
Well, I just wonder how many. I don't even know what the population of the United States is, but do we know a percentage of people that actually fly drones here in the United States compared to our population? Anybody?
Not enough.
Good question.
Good question.
Actually.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Ask Siri.
I just wonder.
I
Yeah,
had
'cause-
advice.
I think we're a small minority. I really think we're a
well,
small
I understand
minority.
that because
Yeah.
it's funny that I mean I know a couple guys here in town that fly, but a couple month or so ago, somebody was flying around the high school, and my phone's ringing. It's like, is that you? I'm like, no,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
me. You know,
fuck it.
so
I've had
I
that
mean,
happen before.
a lot of people know I
8%.
fly that don't fly, but I just wonder what the percentage would be.
It's
Actually,
8%.
I think the higher
8,
percentage is the people that complain about him.
8% of the people in America fly.
Wherever you are, where'd you go?
I'm thinking Saturday night. That's what I'm
Cat
thinking.
Stevens, great song, Saturday Night. Oh,
Yeah. And if you're
Well,
bringing
it's
any
a flip
children
side,
with
that.
you to the South Florida drone meet, make sure you plan ahead of time and talk to your kids about plans when other people approach them. This is a public free event. You got to make sure you keep an eye on the kids. It's going to be nice to see all the people there, but, when you have a family, protect them first. So, just a word of advice. If you're going to
You
have
know,
kids with you, make sure your kids know a game plan. Yeah.
Know what to
good
expect.
tip, Paul. But we are going to have the Margate Police Department drone unit there this
Cool.
year, and
cool.
they'll be showing off their, I guess, patrol vehicle that they use. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen a police department drone unit. They have the computers set up in the back of the SUV usually, and it's really quite the setup. So, and they'll be telling us what kind of drones they fly and you know what kind of missions they do. And it's going to be nice to have the Margate Police Department there.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how many drones are going to get in there at one time. That's going to be interesting. Nerve wracking, I bet. But
How many
Yeah.
people
How
from
many go
DJI
into
are
the
going to be like, oh
water?
my God, I'm getting interference?
All right. This question then goes out to Ken or Jim. How do the controllers in the drone, if you got, what'd you say, 28 the last time or something? How is
Yes.
there not interference when they're going on whatever channel they're going on?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm not sure how the controllers react with that many in the air. I've
Yeah.
flown with like 3 or 4 people, and we've had different, DJI drones and controllers, and everything, was okay. But having that many people, I have no idea.
I
Yeah,
think it's something along the lines of like an IP address. While there's a lot of signals there, it knows which device it's connected to.
No,
Right.
not so much an IP address, but
I
within
said like.
any
I know it's not an IP address, but it's like that.
within
A register.
within any channel, like let's just say for FPV, you've got many channels that you can choose from. Within each of those channels, it will automatically switch different, like let's say you get 8 channels. Each of
Okay.
those channels will have 8 channels available to it. So within a certain frequency range, there's not just 8 channels, 8 different,
Oh, that's
A, B,
good.
C, D, E, F, G. There's a whole lot within that. So they do some magic and they can just figure the shit out. Same with
I know when we
CB
fly,
radios and ham radios.
when we have our little mini meetups, maybe 8 to 10 people, a lot of times you get the controller interference. And it seems, my experience has been if I move 5 feet away from that other controller,
Yeah,
it clears it,
Yeah.
yeah, a few
and you
meters,
got to be
a few
aware of
meters.
that and be
You
ready to
can't be.
do it. Yeah.
Yep, you just can't be standing next to each other. That's all.
Yep.
Right.
And
Exactly.
it'll happen when they go to take off. When they go to take off or land, then you'll notice you
And we,
get interference.
and we sort of
Yes.
stagger the takeoffs. It's
So
sort of
yes,
coordinated.
that's
Yes.
Oh,
that.
there you go.
All right. So there's a
And the
big thing that
altitudes are coordinated too.
Yes.
right. So here's a huge
And it's
thing.
not like it's a mad free for all. It's not. You just send your drone up, you let it hover, and the other drones position themselves around the drones that are in the air.
And you
All right.
you keep reading out your altitude. I've done it with
Yep.
3 or 4 other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
important.
Yes.
And
So
you keep
here's the thing.
talking about it.
So when you first start the motors and you start the drone, it's on very low transmitting power. And it's not really going to interfere with anybody. But as soon as you launch, and this is DJI, as soon as you launch, it goes to full power. That's when there may be issues. So you can have 5 drones, 10 drones on the ground, all start, none of them have a problem. As soon as you launch, A couple of them may act weird because now they're going to full power. Now they have to all switch channels. They all got to do a shuffle and a juggle with the channels. So that's what can happen when you get too many people. So you need spacing. You got to have good spacing so that any of those juggles don't screw up somebody with,
And I'm sure
3,
you've
6, 10,
seen
12
some of the
feet.
videos on the South Florida drone meetup location. The Jensen Beach Causeway Park is a pretty wide area, and people can spread out along
But
the
now,
dock there.
you know what's
Yeah.
going to happen though. But you know what's going to happen. You're going to have this one person with their phone with the remote ID app, and they're going to see one drone. They're going to say, "Hey, who is that?" All of a sudden, you're going to see 30 drones, and this person's going to go, "Oh my god!"
It's a swarm. We're under attack. South Florida drone meetup's got swarm drones. Yeah,
There's 30
we don't
drones,
do
and I
that.
don't know who's behind. Oh my god!
Just so you know, if it's up 2 feet in the air, it counts, right?
Yes,
I've
it
never
does.
used one of those. I've never used one of those apps though to see if it actually worked. I do have it on my phone, but I never think about it when I fly. I was just thinking of doing it just to see, what mine would transmit back. But I just keep forgetting when I fly.
I've tried it, and my drone doesn't appear on it. So who knows?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Just watch Ken Heron's channel, and you'll see all about that shit.
Just wait 20 more years. Every time you go to the store, about 80 drones will pass you carrying a package or yelling at someone to clean up their trash.
No, we'll be flying a drone to the grocery store.
Yep. Just get ready for it and learn the 3 seashells. You're good after that.
And I forgot to mention the group photo also, Paul. Just prior to that Most Drones in the Sky event, we're going to have a group photo taken of everybody in front of the gazebo and waving to the drone. And because if we wait until the very end, people leave. So we're going to do it prior to that and prior to the giveaway prize raffles. Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Get them before they go.
Yeah.
So what?
I'm so excited.
Captain Ray, what got you to put this together?
Just flying with, like I said, Maddie and Ken Huffauer and the gentleman Mitch. We figured we'd have another one. That's all. I enjoy flying with other pilots.
Well, yeah,
I always have.
So you
And
just
who would ever thought that over 100 pilots would come? Never mind 150.
I could talk drones all day, so I like flying with other people. I could just talk all day.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. Most of it is really talking to the other pilots, camaraderie, sharing the knowledge.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Having a good time.
Exactly. Sharing knowledge. That's the biggest I've ever had down at my farm was 6 of us. And we all talked about our drones, what we know about them, what we can learn from each other. So exactly.
There's always going to be one of those moments where you're going to say, somebody's going to say something and you're going to go, oh man, you know what? That's a great idea. And then you'll probably do that to somebody else too. You say, well, I do this a certain way. And then somebody else will say, wow, that's a great idea.
Excellent.
Or the other thing that happens is you hear someone say something and you think, damn, I wish I had that on camera.
Or even better, someone says it'll do it, and you're like, I didn't know my drone could do that.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm going to reread the manual.
And the other thing is we are ambassadors for the drone hobby, and we do get people that don't fly drones that show up and look and walk around, and some of them we offer drone instruction, and we've had people learn how to fly at the South Florida drone meetup, and I'm sure we'll get one or two this year too.
And that's awesome because
give them a Nevada with a motion controller, and they're flying.
I mean, a lot of people that complain about drones right now have no clue what they do, how they operate, and stuff like that. So if you take the time to show people, say, hey, this is how it works. This is what we do. And
exactly.
I did that to a bunch of two or three people in the past, like 2 or 3 years or so. I'll be flying and they'll come over and say, hey, what are you doing? And I'll show them what I'm doing. I'll show them the controller and, I'll talk to them and say, this is how I take off. This is, what we do in it. And you can tell by the look on their face that they understand and they know now. As long knowledge is power, what they say. They complain about something that you don't know about.
And it's great you take the time to do that, Ken. Really, it is.
Yeah.
I was flying the other day, and I was just about done, and I was packing up. It was a really big park, and there were people around, but I stayed away from people. And this woman, this child, started coming over as I was packing up, and I stopped and I noticed, and I said hi, and they said they noticed, and I said, oh, turns out the kid's father has a drone, and the kid has a little drone, but he lost a controller, and he saw me falling behind a tree. I'm like, oh, I wasn't falling, I was flying behind the tree. We don't like falling. But I showed the kid the drone, and the mother was happy, and the kid was thrilled.
No, you're not going to
see, because he saw this thing going all over the place, and he finally got to see it up close, and it was great. I loved it. My only regret was I didn't give him a USDS sticker.
Right. Yeah, thinking about it. Yep.
Now,
I always have them.
Now, Jim, that picture that you have going in the back there, I've been seeing that now for like the last 25 minutes, and you keep reminding me of this video I did, so I'm going to share it.
That is right there is where I crashed my drone.
Yeah.
This tower right here.
So when I first got my Air 2S, I was excited to go check out some lower light footage with it. So I went to Providence, and I'm going to share the video I took while I was there with you guys.
Well, I'm happy on my own, making coffee just for one, and eating breakfast all alone. Fewer dishes to be done. I'm never running behind. You're never on my mind. No longer there to make me comb my hair, fix my tie, or kiss me goodbye. Swear I'm happy on my own.
It's a nice, relaxing video, Paul. Very nice.
Thank you, Ray.
Where I am.
Yeah, that's a stressful one to take, though.
Oh,
That
waiting
drone
for
is
me
way
to come home.
You can't see that fucker.
Staying up till 3 a.m.
Coloration that's the Air 2S?
I'm always out on
Air
the
2S.
town.
That's a big shot. That's a big freaking
You're
shot.
nowhere
I know that
to be
area.
found.
That's huge.
Yeah, I got
When our song comes on, I just hum along.
The tallest building is
It always tastes great stills, but that's a hell of a video of that area, man.
See the building with the point on it? That's the building that Superman would jump over in the 1930s or 40s or whatever it is on TV.
Superman building.
Who did what in 30?
It's the Superman building. It was in the Superman movie.
No, it was in the old TV show back in the day.
Whichever.
Great shot.
Nice. Look at that shot.
It's 5 minutes from my house.
Wait a minute. Is that? Oh, that's your shot, not my shot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. That's why I said that's what made me think of it, because I've been looking at that for the last
I didn't even see
25
the
minutes.
river behind me. I was ignorant. Never mind.
Yeah.
That wasn't where I crashed.
Yeah, no, that was
I crashed
that- and-
way the fuck over here. Like,
Yeah. And you can't really tell. It looks like it's almost daylight, but if you were to go back and watch that video, it was after the sun had set. The low light on the Air 2S
Yeah.
was just phenomenal.
Yep. 5 minutes from my house. I can go there. I could go there right now.
Yeah. So we're going to get ready to wrap up. Oh, Bud, you got something to say?
No, I was just going to say, see, Kenny's running there.
Well, we're going to get ready to wrap up tonight and give anybody a chance to promote what they want to promote. For those that missed it, before we leave, we'll let the roast play again before we end the show. So if you missed it, don't miss it. You'll get to see Australia get roasted hard. Ben, what do you got to say?
Even when somebody's not being kind to you, always be kind to them.
That's right.
Very nice.
Be the
Very
better
nice,
man,
Ben.
man.
Yes, Ben, thank you.
That's right, Ben.
Does anybody else have
Bye,
anything you want to
everybody.
promote? Nobody. All right. Well,
Actually, yeah, no, I actually do. I don't really promote myself too much, but people in the area here know of this place called McCoy Stadium. It's a stadium that it was the home play Bucket Red Sox for 60 years or so, and they are starting to tear it down to make way for a new high school. I spent
Terrible.
40 years going there watching the AAA Pawtucket Red Sox, and I had taken some aerial shots of the field in the area back in 2020 when there was COVID and stuff. So it was still green grass and everything was good. And actually yesterday, or actually during this past week, they already started tearing it down. So
Right.
I put a picture up on Facebook comparing a picture I shot in 2020 to a picture I shot yesterday.
It was
And
drastic.
I got some video what I want to do is I took some video. I tried to do the exact same shot that I did, 5 years ago,
Way over there.
and I'm going to try to put them together and stuff to do like a comparison thing. It's just kind of like,
Cool.
it's depressing because it was such a great family place. Tickets were like $10 for good seats. And
It was a great deal. It was
I used to
great
actually be
deal.
a media photographer there since 2013. I actually got on the field.
Nice.
I met David Ortiz. I met, Dustin Pedroia, a lot of the good players you see that are doing rehab. They go down there and stuff. So I mean, I met a lot of great
That's the way it
people,
works.
and it's just really sad. So I'm gonna probably take a couple of weeks to work on that, and I'll put it up and
Yes.
have you all check
Go
it
ahead.
out.
Ken,
Look,
hey
I
Ken,
look
let me
forward
know
to
when
it,
you go
Ken.
down there. I'm
Yeah, looking
only
forward to
blocks
it.
away.
Okay.
I can visit it from my house with a drone.
All right. I don't know if you guys all remember about a year and 2 months ago, we had a major house
Okay.
fire up the street called the Pillars.
Yeah.
And they're starting finally to demolish what's left of it. So I'm going to try and capture some of a very historic building being torn down tomorrow. But we're supposed to have high winds, so we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Bring a
by the
bigger
way,
bird.
the link, my GoFundMe link for the South Florida drone meetup. No, I'm just kidding. Or maybe I'm not.
If you got a pair of roller skates, we'll tie a string to the back of the vehicle.
Hey,
You just hold on.
I bumper slid when I was a kid, so I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming by tonight. Mental health is so important. I've struggled with it a lot over my life. There are a lot of people just like me. If you need help, reach out and get it. You can dial 988. If you need to reach out to your friends and family, if you can't get help there, reach out further. There is always someone willing to help you get through your issues, but they're not going to know unless you tell them. So reach out and get some help. Don't do it alone. And for those that missed it or who just want to see it again, we're going to play the Roast of Australia tonight. Thank you, Dominic, for inspiring me to do this. Everybody, I hope you have a great week. Ray, I'm looking forward to seeing you this week coming. We're headed your way soon.
Yep.
Everybody have a great week. Thank you for joining us.
Safe travels, Paul.
Bye,
Yep.
guys.
All right, folks. Tonight we're tackling the monumental task of roasting Australia, the only country that's both a continent and a giant evolutionary mistake. First off, Australia's wildlife clearly comes with an instruction manual written by Stephen King. Everything wants you dead. You know your animals are messed up when even the ducks are venomous. I mean, ducks, Australia. How bad is your neighborhood if even your waterfowl are packing poison? Kangaroos, your national symbol, is essentially a buff rabbit on steroids with a short temper. Only in Australia can a cuddly marsupial decide to square up and throw hands. Seriously, who thought putting a Jim Bros personality into a hopping deer was a good idea? And speaking of marsupials, koalas are the stoners of the animal world. The furry freeloaders sleep 22 hours a day, wake up just long enough to get high on eucalyptus leaves, contract chlamydia, and go back to sleep. If that's not the definition of no ambition, I don't know what is. Even pandas look productive by comparison. Now, let's talk about Vegemite, your national spread. Vegemite tastes like someone decided to scrape leftover asphalt off the highway, mix it with sadness, and slap it on toast. Australians defend Vegemite with pride, too. But let's be honest, it's like Stockholm Syndrome in culinary form. You don't actually like it, you've just grown accustomed to the misery. Your slang, it's like Australia looked at the English language and said, nah, mate, too many syllables. Breakfast becomes brekkie, afternoon is arvo, McDonald's is Macca's, and even Christmas becomes Chrissy. Yet, you casually drop fair dinkum into a conversation like you have time to waste. Make up your mind, Aussies, are you busy or not? And what's going on with your accents? It's as if the British dropped you off centuries ago and your language just started melting in the heat. No wonder tourists spend half their vacations nodding politely, pretending they understand your directions, when secretly praying that Google Maps will save them from getting lost in your endless outback. And speaking of the outback, Australia, You have a whole region that looks exactly like Mars. Dry, barren, uninhabitable. People live around the coastline because even Australians know there's nothing in the middle but regret, dehydration, and tumbleweeds that probably have evolved venom by now. Your capital city is so bland and forgettable that even Australians don't remember it. Tourists fly halfway across the world to see Sydney's Opera House or Melbourne's cafes, while Canberra sits in the corner like the kid no one picked in dodgeball. If your capital city could talk, it would probably apologize for existing. And can we discuss cricket for a second? I know, hold up. Australians willingly spend 5 days playing a sport only to have it end in a tie. A tie! You've wasted an entire work week chasing a ball, dressed in white pajamas, only to shake hands and say, well played, maybe next time? Australians, there's a word for that. It's called insanity. And let's not forget your weather, which operates exclusively on extremes. It's either hot enough to melt pavement or it's raining spiders. Literally raining spiders. How do Australians casually brush this off like it's normal? Any country that requires regular spider showers is clearly nature's way of saying, move out, you don't belong here. Yet, despite all this madness, the murderous animals, questionable food choices, linguistic laziness, forgettable capital, and climate that feels personally offended by your existence, we still love you, Australia. Maybe it's because you're safely isolated on the far side of the world where your deadly creatures and Vegemite sandwiches can't harm the rest of us. Cheers, Australia, you beautifully ridiculous island of chaos. Keep it wild, mates. Got you back.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
Yes, I did say linguistic laziness.
Packing up the green screen.